Hey love, so I wanted to come to you with a video today where I discuss some of the activities that I enroll my children in and we participate in and so on. I share a lot of this information on my social media outlets, more specifically on Instagram as well as my Jenell B Stewart Facebook fan page. So if you're visiting me there, then you kind of already get to see a lot of the things that I do with the children, my husband and I as well. But I wanted to share here so that way there's some type of way for those of you who are not on social media to see what I'm doing, and just an archive for people in the future. Okay, so I'm gonna share clips, video clips as well as picture clips of me with the children doing various things, just to kind of like highlight some of the things that I'm talking about. But I find that when you have like newborns, infants, toddlers, sometimes you may be thinking like, what do I do with them? You know, how do I really get them to out there and doing more things? Because a lot of the time things that you think about like music and dance, those are the first thing in sports, they come to your mind, but those are usually for older children. So if you have like an infant, a newborn, a toddler or whatever, and you want to find activities, I would highly recommend you look for parent guides. This parent guide right here is called Your Local Kid Source, and I actually get this at the grocery store on a monthly basis. I go in, do my shopping, and I always think to myself, is it the next month? Okay, I have to grab the new Kid Source. And as you can see up here, it tells you that what is featured in the magazine. And so they have family pages, they have events calendar, summer camps, so on, and party entertainment, and so on. And so this one is for Suffolk County. I live in Suffolk County. This is the August one, or it says South Nassau, whatever. Anyway, I always go to the family events page and I look to see what things are going on the days that my husband is off. And I also always go to the kids event page. It's open walk-in activities, just to see what are things that are going on that I can do when we are all doing our, you know, family day. That's another thing. We have a family day once a week. One of my husband's days off, we'll have a family day. I will also take that day off, and we will just do something as a family. So I can either go through here and find something, or we can just come up with something that we want to do. So those are the two main pages I go to when I go in here. However, this is full of information for parents. A lot of it is advertisements like summer camps, daycare, bubble show, some more day camps, flowers, not for kids obviously, but they have hair cutting coupons, museum activities, the farm. I really want to go to the farm. But most recently when I was looking in here, what I found was this ad, Little Feet Soccer, and I went to the website and I found out that my son is actually within the age range to play on their Little Peanuts team. So I signed him up for it. It was $110 for an 8-week program, 45 minutes on a Saturday, doesn't kill anybody, and he'll get the activity, he'll get the skill, and so on. So I love this. I've also found some other things when I looked through here. We went to a town festival by finding something in here. We visited some of the local places that we saw in here, so I love this. And like I said, I got this from the supermarket. These are also family guides. This one is Long Island Parent Guide News.com. So this might actually be something that is in your area, because it's not like specific to Long Island. So one Long Island Special Child. You know, I'll just go through here and I'll see what stuff is going on. Here's another one, Special Parents. These are probably resources that give support for children with special needs. But this is just one way that you can find things to do with your children, and a lot of them welcome, of course, babies. They don't need to just be like older kids. If you have a baby and you want to take them somewhere to get that exposure, I highly recommend it. The next thing that I would suggest is go to the library. I take my son to the library all the time for the mommy and me classes or the evening activity classes, whatever it is. Your library might offer them The library that we go to has a Tiny Tots program where they have some music instrument play, and then they do an activity. There was a jumping for joy, I think, class where it was all music. They bring out a prop, a song, a common song like Itsy Bitsy Spider, or you know. All right, Papa. Hooray! Hooray! They'll bring out a prop, they'll play with it, and then the song is over, and then the next prop, and so on. And we did a Tiny Tots class. I think I said that already. We did a Mother Goose class. Elle was there for the Mother Goose class. She was like having a good time. It was so cute. She's only 6 months, and she was enjoying herself, you know, sitting there, sucking on the tambourine, and JJ was jumping around dancing. It was great. So your library may have resources. Actually, all of these pamphlets that I showed you, the bigger ones, I got these all from the library. So your library might even have these type of brochures and magazines for you to look at as well. Also, I would suggest go to like the common things that kids would do at school at an older age, like the museum, the zoo, the farm if you have one near you, any historical museums, any aquariums. You want to go and see those places. Usually they have websites that you can find right in your town or nearby, and you can see what times they're open, as well as if there's even admission for little ones. I know for Elle, she's 6 months, there's no admission at all. So if you have only one child, take them. They're going to be looking around, looking at all of the animals, looking at all of the aqua animals, you know, anything that's going on, they're looking around and they're getting that exposure. Exposure is so important. Even though they don't understand the concept, you talk with them. I'll hold Elle and I'll say, look at this, look at the fish, you know, oh, Elle, look at this. And they're getting that exposure over and over. And then because her brother is older than her, he's experiencing it again. He's getting that exposure as well. And he's sharing in that interaction with her, like, Elle, look at the, you know, fish or whatever. So you want to do that. So that's another great place. I would also suggest going to the park. The park is a great place for kids. Gross motor activities for the older ones and for the other children that are younger. It's just a nice opportunity to get out, put them in a stroller or in some type of baby harness and walk around. Let them just experience the outdoors. Let them feel the sun on their skin, feel the breeze as it passes by, hear the noises from anything out there in the environment, people, cars, whatever. All that stuff, all that sensory input kids need, doesn't matter what age. So go to the park. I bring Elle with me to the park with JJ. Obviously she's not jumping around on all of the equipment, but he has a good time and he comes back and forth and he interacts with us. And if I put her in the stroller, we'll walk around the pond, and if I have her in a harness or my Moby wrap, we'll walk around and I'll go play with JJ while she's inside of it, looking around and seeing everything that's going on. And at the library as well as the park, it's a great place to meet other moms. I am not a shy person, and I feel like if you don't have a lot of friends in your area, because we just moved out here to Long Island, we don't know anybody. We don't know anybody in our area. We have people that we know in Long Island, but they don't live nearby. So I have to make friends for me. I have to make friends for my children. So I went to the library and I saw a few parents. We were kind of interacting during the class with our kids, and before we left, everyone's just leaving. I grabbed my phone. I was like, do you guys do play dates? And we took numbers. I exchanged numbers with 3 parents now after going to the library several times. And one family, we found out not only do we have something in common with our kids being the same age, they live in the same town. They used to live in Brooklyn, nearby where we lived when we were there. They are married. They're a young married couple. One of them is of the same ethnicity as my husband, Trinidadian. I mean, that was just crazy that we had so many similarities in common. The mom is an OT. She works in a school. I used to be a teacher. So it was just great. Like, we really connected. Our kids are going to go to the same daycare coming up in the fall. I mean, like, there was just so many things in common that have worked out in our favor. So don't be shy shy. When you're there with the parents and your kids are playing, talk with them, ask them questions. When did she start doing this? You know, how old did he start doing such and such? Or where does he go to school? Where else do you guys go to play and do things? Get that out there. You want to meet them. So don't be shy. Take your phone and take numbers. Online is another great resource. There are a lot of like online, I'm gonna give you the online addresses for these places, but I mean, I'm sure there's other places you can go online to find information about things that are going on in your town. So that's a great place. Word of mouth, that's always great. If you know people, unlike us who have no friends here, if you know people, just ask them, like, what do you do with your baby? Or what did you do when your child was a baby? And then lastly, I would say the schools. If your child is already enrolled in a daycare program, if they're of an age where they're in daycare, ask the daycare program if they have any resources like this, any pamphlets or any suggestions on like what type of field trips they've taken before. Like they do these type of things. And I remember when I was in elementary school, teaching in elementary school, we had a big, humongous folder of brochures and booklets and pamphlets of different things we could do with the kids for field trip ideas. You can ask your teachers, the teachers there or the administrators there, to give you some resources and references, especially if you have children who are older than your babies, or if you have babies and are not in daycare school but you have a friend whose child is in elementary school, you can ask them if they can get those resources for you on your behalf. So schools have a lot of those information there. And yeah, like that's really, I know I've said a lot, but I think it's so important because kids need exposure. Oh, the mall. I forgot the mall. Let me write that down. Take notes. The mall is a great place. I went to the mall with JJ and Elle and my husband, and we saw a Taekwondo dojo right there in front of us. I walked in. I asked how old he had to be to start. They said 3. He wasn't 3. He was only 2, almost 2.5. And I asked, can he start? Can he at least try? They let him do a trial class. He did not so good, but they told me it was okay to sign him up. Whether or not they wanted my money or they felt like he was actually a good candidate as an entry-level person, I don't know. But he did the class, the first one. I asked him if he wanted to go back. He said yes, and he's been going. He did the whole 6 weeks in the summer. It was $100 for 6 weeks and his gi, which is a uniform, and we signed up again for the full year. The full year was a lot more than obviously the 6 weeks for the summer, but
okay, keep, say hey, say 1, say go, hold it out, one more time, keep, say hey, say 1, go,
yay!
Nice job, good job.
His skill and his abilities have gotten so much better. My problem with him now is his attention span. I often have to like jump in and be like that aggressive mom, like pay attention, look at the master, you know, turn around, because it can be really dangerous in a dojo when you have kids working with the master kicking and punching and you're like lollygagging, twisting around. You could get hurt. And he actually did get kicked one time, and he bumped into someone as they were running because he wasn't paying attention. So it's more of a safety thing. But he's been doing Taekwondo and he's only 2. He will not be 3 until December, and it's August, and he's been doing it since June. So they're never too young to expose them to certain things. Just assess how they feel. All in all, I just want you all to know that I absolutely love being a mom. It is like one of the most exciting professions, because it feels like a job, right? Ever. And I love it. I would never ever give it up, but I want my children to grow up doing the right things. I see these videos on YouTube, I mean on Facebook, of like kids doing crazy things like lighting themselves on fire as a game, and like trying to not like put themselves to sleep as a game, or throwing boiling water on someone as a game. Things that are just horrible, punching people in the head like the knockout game. And I think to myself, if those kids weren't just going from school to home, would they be involved in that? Like if they had other activities that they were involved in with positive role models from their peers who are doing positive things, as well as the adults who are doing positive things if they would even be thinking about those things at all. And I can't help but think no, they probably wouldn't, because I wasn't doing that type of stuff when I was in school. I was enrolled in Girl Scouts, and I was enrolled in gymnastics, and I was enrolled in ballet, and you know, I never, and in high school and middle school I was doing other things to keep myself active and busy. But anyway, I'm kind of rambling now. Let me know if you have any questions. This video was not requested, but I wanted to get it out because I'm just like, this would be a great video. So let me know if you have questions. Leave that question in the description box. I'll try to get to it if I can. And please subscribe to my channel. Please share my videos with other women, other moms. Even if you're not a mom and you're watching, share it with someone. Share any of my videos. The more people share my videos, the more support I get by people watching and tuning in and subscribing. So I really do appreciate that. And as always, I love you for watching. Bye. It is not easy to do something like breastfeeding when you've never experienced it before. It is a challenge because